Overseas now, attacks by Israel on Iran are expanding, and so is the crossfire. Tonight, Israel's Iron Dome defense system intercepted a new volley of attacks from Iran. We get more now from CBS's Deborah Patta in Amman, Jordan.
Good evening. Iran has launched another wave of strikes against Israel, and the stakes could not be higher for the embattled region as Tehran has called off planned nuclear talks with Washington scheduled for Sunday. This is the moment Iran struck Tel Aviv in a series of retaliatory strikes early Saturday. The conflict between the longtime foes has escalated dramatically and is now heading into its third night. As waves of Iranian missiles rained down, some made it through Israel's air defense systems, smashing into homes, injuring dozens, and killing at least 3 Israelis. But that toll was dwarfed by the damage Israel inflicted on Iran. Iran says more than 60 people and nearly 30 children have died. And Israel says it has killed 9 Iranian scientists and has targeted oil, gas, and nuclear facilities in a bid to cripple the country's nuclear capacity. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he is not done yet. We will hit every site and every target of the Ayatollah's regime, Netanyahu said. What they have felt so far is nothing compared to what's coming. This is the largest and longest exchange of military strikes between the two rivals ever. Prime Minister Netanyahu today went further, hinting at regime change. Jarika telling the people of Iran that these strikes clear a path for them to unite and stand up for freedom.
Deborah Patta, thank you for your reporting.
As you can see, we closing in on a day where it's not Tyrion. They not playing games. They understand, according to biblical prophecy, that what? Grab this in Jeremiah chapter 50 real quick. That these other nations, and they're just one of them, but they're one of the major players in World War III. Talked about in the third woe in Revelation. They contain the arrows of the Most High. And these arrows are going to what? Shoot down. Let's start at Jeremiah. I can start at 50 and 6. I can start at 51 and 6. I can start at 50 and 35. Let's see. Let me stop stalling and just start at Jeremiah 51 and verse 35. 51 and 35. Matter of fact, let me start at 51 and 24. Jeremiah 51 and 24. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, saith Yahweh. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith Yahweh, which destroys all the earth, and I will stretch out mine hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. And how's it going to be a burnt mountain? With these arrows. These arrows, or what's called these ICBMs, but they contain what? Fire. They're going to shoot at America. Now, America has an interest in making sure that they don't get shot down. So it's not just about protecting Israel. They have stake in it too. They don't want to get burnt. That's why they are in these summits. And will make thee a burnt mountain. That's 30:25. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundation, but thou shalt be desolate forever, saith Yahweh. All right. So they're going to be desolate through what? These arrows. These arrows are going to what? Shoot. Let's go to Jeremiah 51 and 50 and verse 35. It says, Jeremiah 50 and 35, it says, a sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote. A sword is upon her mighty men, and they shall be dismayed. A sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon all the mingled people that are in the midst of her. And they shall become as women. A sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. So, why would a sword be on objects? Why? Sword is meant to cut flesh and meat, not, cut treasures. This sword is talking about these arrows, these nuclear bombs that are going to detonate upon arriving to Babylon. Israel is going to get it as well. They're not going to be exempt from this judgment. It's not going to be completely destroyed, but they're going to get their fair share of nuclear attacks and nuclear missiles that's going to hit them. So of course they're worried. This goes into Revelations 20 and 9. It says, I'll start with verse 7. Even though 7 don't got really nothing to do with it, but I'll just break it down to lead up to there. Revelations 20 and verse 7. And when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. It's talking about E. And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them together to battle, the number of whom is as the sand of the sea. And they went up upon the breadth of the earth, and compassed the camp of the saints about, and the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. Let's go read that from the top again. 9, it says, and they went up on the breadth of the earth. Breadth of the earth is talking about what? The land of Israel. And compassed the camp of the saints. The camp of the saints is talking about what? The land of Israel. About. And the beloved city, and fire came down from God out of heaven and devoured them. So, you're going to have the other nations, Gog and Magog, be leading the way. They're not very friendly with Israel. Iran has the the most invested beef, but trust and believe they don't like Israel neither. So, not America. Well, America is going to be burned, but you're going to have parts of our land that's going to be burned, because what does fire does? It's a cleansing agent. It cleans. And all of the evil and the wickedness and the pink city and the Tel Avivs and all that type of abominations, that got to be cleansed out. And it's got to be cleansed with fire. It's just that it's not going to be completely uninhabited like how Babylon will be. No man will step foot in Babylon once it's completely destroyed. But guess what? We're going to build our nation, our land up back. Because do you think when we get our land back, the Edomites just, with all their building structures and their, 9-story buildings that's going on all over in there, you think we're just going to just take over our land and simply just bulldoze it down and then rebuild? No. It's going to be destroyed with fire. On that note, I hope this lesson has been edifying. things are ramping up. And as you heard him say, he said there's more to come. And I can't wait. And if you are a man of Yahweh, you won't be able to wait either. And on that note, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Agakudash. That belongs to the elders of GMS Well. Peace, salutations, and shalom.